Okay, we are here tonight to stop supertanker traffic through the harbor of Vancouver. Is that a good idea? This is very inspiring to see Vancouver come out like this. This is a big deal. This is a very important deal. This is a big deal, these tankers going through there. They're planning, they got 2 a week right now. They plan on up to 10 a week. And they've been doing this right under our nose. Remember back in 2007, I don't know, some of you may remember, a backhoe tore up the Kinder Morgan line. And Kinder Morgan claimed that the city of Burnaby was at fault because they tore up this line, and they had told them where it was. But when it actually went before the court, it was determined that Kinder Morgan had given the wrong information, and they didn't even know where their own line was. Those of you who don't know who Kinder Morgan is, that's the company who owns the pipeline from Alberta to the port of British Columbia, and they load the oil up at Westridge terminals. They load the tankers there, 500,000 barrels per tanker, or 700, two different sizes of tankers.
The greatest danger is a spill of an entire load of 500,000 in a Panamax tanker, or 700,000 barrels in an Aframax tanker, or up to 29 million gallons of crude oil washing through our inlets and tidal currents. Now, the Exxon Valdez only spilled 11 million. And the spill of 20 million gallons of crude oil will travel up to Indian Arm, Burrard Inlet, English Bay, Falls Creek. Based on the Exxon Valdez spill, I estimate that oil will reach Nanaimo by day 4, and Courtney by day 8, and the Exxon Valdez oil spill traveled 470 miles. Such a spill will be an ecological disaster. Real estate values will decline. Vancouver will become known as the largest oil spill on the Pacific coast. This will cause an evaporation of the supernatural and green image of BC. Port closure, fouled ships and fouled water. Cargo will be rerouted to American ports for an indeterminate time, perhaps forever. Railways and trucking will be impacted, as they are going to be bringing us our food supplies. The end of tourism and fishing.
Pipeline was originally around 200,000 barrels per day, and you might note for scaling versus Enbridge is 520,000. So we're about half, roughly, something like that. And the other note I would make is they recently upgraded the pipeline. This isn't something you would normally do when you've got surplus capacity. They upgraded that pipeline to 300,000 barrels per day. Of course, you've all probably heard about the Northern Proposal. It's right to be concerned. There's huge issues there. I don't want to belittle that at all. But I think one of the things that people have missed is the amount of tanker traffic that's been building through the Port of Vancouver. You have to reach Westridge Terminal by going through both narrows, including under the railway bridge. Now, to give you sort of a scale of what First Narrows is like, it's quite shallow. It's about 16 meters deep at zero tide, all right? It's about 134 meters between the bridge piers. And if you look at the navigation channel that a tanker that's drawing 12 meters would be, it's around 120 some odd meters, 120 meters wide. And if they're not within that narrow channel, they're going to ground. All right, it's that simple. If a tanker is going at 5 knots, he crosses 100 meters in about 40 seconds, and that's the width of the channel. So imagine they make a small course correction and the rudder jams. Happens. Do you think they're really going to get those tugs in position to prevent an incident in that time frame? It's just too short. It's not a normal tidal passage, it's pretty turbulent. So it overturns, there's lots of cross currents. And on top of that, you stick a great big ship in there. We don't know what's happening to those currents at that time, right? So when you look at that, it's hard to believe that this could be possibly safe. Why are we doing this? This is no place for an oil terminal.
So I want to read this from Ron. I've been fishing on the BC coast since 1973, and I know practically every inch of this coastline. If we get an oil spill anywhere in these waters, it would wipe out every fishery we have, the shellfish, the salmon, the herring. not to mention the plankton and that they feed on.
I only have to look at the families crying in Florida right now and their children playing in baby pools on the beach because their children can't go in the water to know that this is what's going to happen to our coastline. And so what we're doing here and what's being created here is a real community movement that I can't underscore that Greenpeace wants to follow. We don't need to lead this. I think that the power of the people in the Lower Mainland here is more than enough, and whatever we can do to support that movement is what we want to be doing.
If you have an ongoing risk, something that's not bounded by time, you no longer have a risk, you have a certainty. It's not even a probability, it's a certainty. And that's the message I think we have to get out here.
We know about this because a few people actually observed the tankers going by. Nobody held a commission to talk about it, nobody informed the public. There's been no, and Bill in his research attempted to find out if there's a spill, who's responsible. I can guarantee you, Bill's been working on this for 2 years. We have no idea who's responsible. There's nobody here to protect us. We're it. Our first action is going to be this flotilla on October 17th. And we need a lot of help. We need your help. Many of you here tonight have skills. We need those skills. We need people coming together and actually working on this. We're here to save our city. We're here to be the watchdogs of the harbor because nobody else is doing it.